Hi there everyone, this is Lilith and welcome back to another one of my videos, and this video is for the summer color video series. So sorry it's a bit late in the week, but I've been really busy and have had a hard time finding some time during the day to film the videos, and I prefer filming during the day because the light conditions are so much better. So in today's color video I wanted to talk about color and matching it to your photo, and I don't usually or don't always start off with my photo to pick my colors, because quite often lots of colors complement each other. But I wanted to create a layout using one of the Scraptastic kits, which is called Find a Boy Kit, and the add-on, and I wanted to show you how using your photo and papers you've chosen. I'm lucky because I got a kit that really matched. You can pick colors in your photo and use those colors to put together your supplies for your layout. So if you have a closer look at the photo, you can see there's a dominant green color from the grass. I did tweak the photo a bit in Photoshop Elements, adding a kind of matte finish to it. And the t-shirt worn by my son had other elements of green and blue and just a hint of orangey red. Okay, so when I was looking through my stash, I said, well, there were different things I could have used, but then I got my I Found a Boy kit, and I said I'm going to use that, because if you have a closer look at the kit, and I'll show you all the products I've taken out, you have got the green, the blue, and then just a little hint of red. So I will be using red, but it will be in really small amounts because it's not really present in the photo, and I don't want to distract from the photos themselves. So let's just have a look at the supplies I have taken out. So I've got some of the washi, which is this lovely blue with the stars. I don't know if I'll be using all of it because I've got an idea in my mind, but it still has to come along. I've taken out also some of these little wood veneer arrows. No, these are cork arrows. The Scraptastic stamp set that goes with I Found a Boy kit. I've taken out some of the embellishments. So as you can see, I've chosen the blue and the green, and then this one is white, but it has the same little elements, blue and green, and has just a little hint of that orangey red. Also this little flare, sorry, with the U and the star. This frame, okay, from Ellie's Studio, which says "Say Cheese," and it really goes well with the photos because my son is really laughing and having fun. Some of the enamel dots, again, you've got, we're using the green and the blue, and maybe just a bit of white. Now this little tag from Chic Tags, well, I don't know if I'll use the whole tag because I'm going to be using white cardstock, and this is a kind of whitewashed effect with a hint of beige, so I might not use that. But I will probably be using that little element here, the little arrow. I've just got some white cardstock as well for stamping. I might be using these letter stickers from Jelly Bean Soup. I've also taken out the sticker sheet. I have set my eyes on the letters, probably some of the little labels here, maybe a few elements that have a bit of red, okay, just to get back on the hint of red. This lovely blue striped paper from Kate & Co. from My Mind's Eye. Okay, I'll probably be using both sides. This lovely large circle paper, the nice green on the other side as well. And my base is going to be white cardstock. Okay. And I've also taken out just a few little extras. I'm going to probably be rummaging through my buttons to get out a few maybe darker blue buttons and some green ones. So I'll probably have a look through those later on as well. So those were the supplies, and now we're going to start creating the layout. And what I sometimes do is when I look through my albums, there might be a layout or maybe 2 or 3 that really stand out to me, and I use them as inspiration. So it's kind of a scrap lift, but it's more that I get more ideas when I look at the layout. And this was the layout I saw it on my blog again, and then I saw it back in the album, and it's just, I think it's one of my favorite layouts I've ever made using the American Crafts Delisi collection. And I love the saying, I love all the elements, but it just inspired me to make something different. So I don't know if it's going to be a complete scrap lift or just an inspiration, but there are elements that will be used in the next layout. I really want to make a nice long title again and maybe work with different font sizes. I might also be using some of these punched elements, so a repetition of punched, not hearts but another shape, and then these buttons that sit on top. That's why I took out the buttons, and maybe some of the flair. So there will be some inspiration taken from this layout. So there you have it, the supplies, where my inspiration has been taken from, and some of the ideas when working with the photo and then trying to create a layout. So let's get started with the layout. So let's just get started on the layout first. So I cut out a couple of strips from the paper I had chosen, and I'm going to place them horizontally, just like those tiny borders in the inspiration piece. So I'm starting with the larger strip and just placing the other strips beneath it, but I'm going to place them at an angle, those ones. I really like the idea of adding a bit of a tilt into the layout. Create some movement and another kind of dynamics. Then I'll place my photo and yet again just tilt it a bit. Here I've adhered everything to the paper, and I'm going to create that element just like on the inspiration piece with all the hearts. So here I'm just adding that die, and here I'm going to add those little tidbits from the kit that came in the kit from Ellie's Studio. And yet again adding a bit of a tilt just to create a bit of movement. Placing the little flare as well. And I'm also going to use a few buttons. So like I said, these are from my stash, and I'm using them because on the inspiration piece, my layout, there were also little buttons. Just picking a few out, some blue ones and some green ones. I don't know how many I'm going to use, just going to pick a few out. And now with my punches, I'm going to punch out a series of circles. Using the same pattern paper as before, I might use the B sides and as well as the A sides just to add a bit more color and texture. And I'll be using normal circle punches, scalloped ones, and I think they're 1-inch scallop. It's a 1-inch scallop punch and a 1.5-inch circle punch, and then this one from the larger scallop. So here I've placed all those circles at the top, added a few smaller ones, the buttons, and I even made some of the punches just overlap the borders, and I'll cut off the excess afterwards. So I've also added a bit of string, just like in the layout I'm scrap lifting. Don't know what I'm going to do with the ends. I'll just leave it as such for the moment. And I'm going to add the little hints of red, like I mentioned earlier. And I'm going to use this sticker sheet from Eeckels paper and the little labels, just placing them and seeing where they'll look nicely. As you can see on the my previous layout, I had these little borders just alongside the photos, and I'm going to banners, and I'm going to add the same little element here. So a little label down there. That little label I might use it on later on. Just sticking it to the one side. I'm going to staple this little arrow to the frame. And I'm going to place the other part of the label just in the bottom right-hand corner, creating a kind of visual triangle with the 3 red elements. This is a die cut I painted with some watercolor paint. I'm just going to add a bit of washi tape to the border, just beneath the strip with the circle pattern paper and place the die cut on top of that. I'm going to adhere the die cut onto the paper using some foam dots. I'm using American Craft foam dots. I think they are some of my favorite. They're really a fun product to add dimension. Now just below the washi tape I wanted to add a bit more green, and I'm going to use these arrows. Now I just wanted to use one of them, and because all of the 3 arrows on the same stamp, I had to be really careful when inking it up. So what I'm going to first do is just do a test stamp to see if the colors fit. This one is called Emerald from American Craft. It's a pigment ink, so you have to really be careful once you've stamped it, because it will take some time to dry. And as you can see, I'm using a bit of scrap paper just to protect the other parts of the layout if ever I put too much ink onto the stamp. So here you can see I've added those stamps just below, pointing to the summer, and I'm going to create my title, and I really wanted to create a nice long title like on the layout I am scrap lifting. So I'm using these stickers from Jelly Bean Soup, and my title will say, "Hello Summer, you make me smile." So the "you make me" I'll be creating with the Jelly Bean Soup stickers, and then the smile will be built up of letters from the sticker sheet from Eeckels paper. And the colors are really similar, but the letters from the Eeckels paper sheet have these little dots on them, colored dots, so it's a bit, and the size is different and the font is different. I'm also going to add a few ink splatters, so I'm using some green from Mr. Huey's, and I'll also be using a bit of blue, and I'm trying to concentrate the ink splatters in the bottom right hand corner as well as the top left hand corner, and just creating a flow from bottom to top. I'm just going to add a few more little embellishments like the enamel dots, 3 green ones just around the title area to highlight and accentuate the title, and then a few more enamel dots at the top just to add to those circles. And there you have it. The layout is almost done. All I have to do is write some journaling and find out what I'm going to do with the leftover twine. When I'm hesitating about where placing my journaling, what I usually do is I will write it on some vellum, just really roughly, and just see where it works out. And here I decided that I would put it onto the pattern paper with the stripes that was just to the right of the photo. So here I'm just writing my journaling. I'm using a really, really fine pen here. I think it's 0.2, a really fine tip pen, because my handwriting differs if I'm using different pens. So I really like the finer pens. And the finishing touch is just to add that twine, or to adhere to the page. And I'm going to use my little stapler and just make these little loops with the twine. So there you have it. The layout is finished. I hope you've enjoyed this video series, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye bye.